We're here because those lovely people at Irresponsible Decorators have asked me to say a few words about a short play that I've written for them, which is going to feature as part of their new writings evening at the new Maltings Theatre in St Albans on the 24th and 25th of January of next year, obviously. That's a great summary. In fact, it's a much better one than I would have written.
Oh, really?
I would have just said it's about sex, homosexuality, incest, hardcore pornography. It's got a lot of swearing in, so bring the kids. It'll be a great evening. Get on it.
Excellent.
Well, the letter which features the Dear Mr Putin of the title is based on an actual letter that I wrote one night in response to, as you said, the draconian anti-gay laws in Russia, and I was going to just email it to him, but I didn't want the Kremlin to know my email details for obvious reasons. So what I did was I printed it off the next morning, went down to the post office, put it in an envelope, got a stamp on it. It's £1.50, by the way, to send an airmail letter to Vladimir Putin directly, and then I just left it at that. It was just one of those silly things. But then some friends came around the next day, and they read it and they liked it, and they said, "Well, you should try and get that published. Send it off to, I don't know, the Guardian or whatever." But who gives a shit about what Guardian readers think? So I just developed it into this short play because I wanted to give it some background and a bit of body about it. No, it's more of a private letter that the audience, if they turn up to see it, happen to be privy to. They're allowed in on it. I've got this whole thing about open letters. In fact, there's part of the play addresses Stephen Fry's letter to Vladimir Putin along the same lines, but mine was obviously better. It's open letters tend to be nothing to do about the subject that you're addressing and everything to do with the look at me attitude of the person that's writing them, and whether that's from Stephen Fry or bless his heart, or from Sinead O'Connor to Miley Cyrus to Morrissey. Morrissey's at it now. He's written one to Barack Obama.
Well, that's no surprise, but what's that about?
It's about turkeys. Well, it's about Thanksgiving and presumably Christmas. He's basically writing to Obama and saying, free the turkeys, man. But all you need to know is Morrissey, turkeys, Barack Obama, and it requires no imagination or thought whatsoever to know what the content of that letter is. And quite frankly, Barack Obama's not going to do anything about turkeys. He wouldn't close down Guantanamo when he said he was going to. He ain't going to set the turkeys free. Them little fellas are going to be running around in their orange jumpsuits from now to Christmas Eve.
Nice analogy.
And who cares what Morrissey thinks? It is because the letter actually existed. And it was something I wrote and sent off. I wanted to retain a little bit of ownership of it, so I named the character in the play that writes it. I gave him my name because I wanted him to have aspects of my own personality, as with any other kind of character you create and try and write. But yeah, I think there's a lot of me in Bobby. No, it's not. There's a few things that are as tedious as a writer trying to say something or use kind of language which you don't need to go into here, just simply to shock to the audience, to make them sit up and pay attention because they make reference to a particular sexual act, or they use a particular sexual swear word, and it becomes a bit tedious and a bit contrived. But at the same time, I didn't want to do that. At the same time, I wanted this to call things what they are, because I think people do have this innate need to see things as they actually are, and I wanted to address issues of like love, romance, sex and fucking, which are all four different things, and while sometimes they come wrapped up in the same parcel, that's all well and good. But they are four different things that can be treated separately and spoken about directly. I hate all this nudge, nudge, wink, wink euphemism kind of thing that still surrounds a lot of discourse about sex and sexuality and, you know, pornography or anything to do with that. You're welcome.
Lovely.
Very much. It's been an absolute thrill. And yeah, thanks. Great. We'll do it again sometime. The Putin could benefit from a lot of things, not least a good kicking.